important is that the sublist 3-hour, as I've said earlier on. So this is an advanced, is more advanced than subroot, because you can actually integrate subroot into this sublist 3-hour to increase the possibility of finding more subdomains using brute force with an improved word list. So before you can use it you will need to install it by using your apt-get install sublist 3-hour. But before you do that, you need to update your Kali Linux repository. So the usage is quite simple. For example, if I want to find a listing of subdomain, all the subdomain on Google that are of port 80, and I also want to leverage on search engine like Bing, I will use this parameter. I will use sublist 3-hour-d space google.com space -p space 80 space -a space Bing. So let's quickly try that let me just quickly navigate to my Kali box. So what you just need to do, so you type this command. So it will give you all the listing or all the listing of subdomain based on the Bing search engine. So that's the usage is pretty simple. So it's pretty simple. If I'm searching based on Yahoo search engine, I use same parameter, or this time I press Yahoo. So what are the things that beyond the technical information gathering? So there are some other things that you need to get. For example, you need to get a listing of employees, possible their email address. And for example, if my email address is zechariah@censusbuild.com, so I will need to look for a way. So I can easily deduce, probably I may have an email, my personal email might look like this. I may have an email called zechariah@yahoo.com or zechariah@gmail.com. So a very important tool that can be used to harvest an email address is Python, is harvester Python scripting. So there's another tooling which is very, very important. It's one of my favorite as well, especially if I want to do some form of enumeration. So you can use email harvester Python to call harvester, the harvester, to enumerate publicly available email address of the target organization. So this tool is equally written in Python. You can as well as is an open source tool, customize it further to your own taste. But before you do that, you need to make a copy and work on the copy of that script that you want to customize so that you not break stuff. So for example, like what I display here on example here, if I want to display a listing of maybe email on probably on the certifiedhacker.com. I want to use Google search engine parameters. And if I want to limit my list to 500, and I want to pipe in the result to my result.html, I can use this command. So for example, for this class, let's presume that we want to use an Avesta Python tooling to get the listing of all the publicly available email address related to summit2.ca. So the stuff is simple. What we will do, and if I want to base my result based on Google, I will go to my command line. Let me clear the screen. I will just, so mind you, this utility is case sensitive. You need to type the harvester. It's case sensitive because if you don't, if you type it in small, lowercase, you might not get the desired results. It will throw up an error, tell you that the command cannot be found. So this would display all the listing of the results. I'm not sure whether I'm okay. All the listing based on Google search engine. I will get as much as information. I think it's still coming up. So based on, I'm able to get the host name on based on Google search engine, and also be able to get a 2 email address. And this is a IP address. One host is found. That's it. That is pretty straightforward. So you can customize it further beyond just it work with the various search engine. You can begin to invest based on your email accounts. You can leverage on Twitter. You can leverage on Facebook. You can leverage on LinkedIn. To depend on what you want. So it's important to know that when a document is created, it automatically stores information like who created the date and time of creation, software use, computer name, and so on. If you're able to retrieve document online and inspect the underlying metadata, we can extract useful information. So let's do some further digging, leveraging on the various search engine. So in the few slides, you want to demonstrate how to leverage on search engine, how to leverage on the search engine like Google, Bing, LinkedIn, and in combination with the Avesta to enumerate all the email, username, domain, and hostname. I think we've done this. So, but let me quickly explain the parameter, the various switches. That is the domain or the company to search. So this, for example, in our previous example, we were searching based on the summit2.ca, and -l means that you need to limit the result. For example, if I have more than 100 listing, it will list it to the first 100. As like B is the data source. The data source can be Bing, can be Google, can be LinkedIn. Let's do something interesting. I know that for a professional, so you can see here we have 2 email addresses based on the previous script that I run. and we have only one host and one IP. So let me do something. Let's use LinkedIn because there's possibility that I might have more result with some. For example, if I'm searching based on if I'm searching based on LinkedIn, I may tend to have more results as it is being displayed in this slide. So what I chose to do, I will just change the source to LinkedIn. Hope I get this button right. LinkedIn, hope the spelling is right. I think I'm right. So if you look at it, I'm able to get more results. I'm able to get a listing of all the people on LinkedIn, but I limit it to the first 100. If I want to get more, so at the end of the day, this is found about there are 108 people on LinkedIn that are associated to this host name. These are their various names, their role, and and also what they do specifically for the college. So this is what how you can leverage on various Python tooling to start with your information gathering process. So if you get your information gathering process right, you have a long way to go. So that means that you have a very solid foundation for your so that beyond just looking at the gathered information, at times you can also leverage on your HMS source. So how do you view the HMS source? I think it's pretty straightforward. For example, if I want to get to know more about a particular host, I can have some hidden parameters. Let me just quickly open up my Chrome. I'm not sure my Chrome is, my browser is open yet. So let me just open, let's say, the school website. I have to be sure whether I share my entire screen right. Okay, I think I've opened it. Okay, I think I'll open the round. Let's just do for something simple. Let's just do google.com, right? Yes. So if you want to view the source code, you can directly view page source. So here I have there are so many information that I can get from this source code, and I can get so many useful information from this source code as well. Let me go to my a simple page that I developed for the purpose of this course. So from there, I can get some useful information about a particular, some useful information like a hidden maybe hidden hidden URL, sensitive URL, and all of that about a particular domain. So let's proceed. So beyond that, you can also leverage, decide to develop your own customized scripting. Like this is simple. Let me just quickly open up. This is a simple script that I developed. I decided to run it on Windows. I can as well as run it on the Kali. But before you run it on Windows or my host, I ensure that I install Python compiler. I think in previous slide I run us through on on where to download. You can go to python.org to download to do your download. I don't know why this page is not displaying. So you go to download. So you can, for the purpose of this class, I downloaded it to compiler, both Python 3.10.7 and Python 2.7.8. So then one of my favorite editor that I normally use Notepad plus. So this is a simple script that can be used to grab the web banner of your particular host. So you need to first and foremost import the operating system command by using import sys. Then you can also import the request. So most of the time you will need to install the request using a pip install request. You just type python -n pip install request at the command line or at the bash line. So if you are using Python 3, you type py--3 to install that. But before you do the installation, you need to go through the root directory, navigate through the directory and make sure that you are under the script directory. So depending on the version of Python that you're having. So I install the script. So the module on both Python 2, I have Python 2.7, I have Python 3. I downloaded both on my system. You can also leverage on the Python on your Kali box. So Python comes by default Kali box. So then, because I will need the socket module, I import the socket module, and I want the report to be from display in JSON format. I also import the JSON module. So so this is simple script to display to do a banner grabbing of a particular domain. So for you to run the script, so I call the name of the file. So I will drop in the script into one of the student folder so that you can try it. And so then if you go through your student the lab exercise, please make sure that you try this script so that you can have a feel on how it looks like, and how you can use a pattern to develop your own custom scripting. So you can save it as maybe record.py, before record.py, anything that you want to save it. And so at the end of the day, it will also display the location, the region, the city and country where your the host, the domain is being hosted. So when you run this script, you can see this is the banner grab. So from here, I can display a whole lot of so it display the header, the SSS protection is enabled, this X frame option is enabled, the same origin policy is set. It also display the part for the cookie, display a whole lot of stuff. So from here, from this banner grab, it also tell me the state of the cache, and also tell me so many things, whether the content security policy is enabled. It also tell me whether the HTTP only is enforced, and so display a whole lot of stuff on and this information. With this information, I can use this header information to conduct a further attack. For example, if the X-frame option is not set, that means that the domain is vulnerable to to same origin vulnerability issue, which has to do with clickjacking, So being by the time we start the session on web application exploitation, we also do a deep dive on how to exploit the clickjacking vulnerability. So, and you can see it display the IP address, the location, the region of this domain is in California, the city is Mountain View, and the country is US. So just try this out and let me so as part of your lab exercise. So another very useful information gathering tool, so publicly available information gathering tool is DNS dumpstamp. So this is very easy to use. So what you just need to do, you go to dnsdumpstamp.com on your browser. Very easy to use. dnsdumpstamp.com. For example, if I want to do a further detail on my domain, salesforce.com, I click on search to give me all the block of IPs, the region where this guy is located. You can see that the host is located in US. These are the DNS servers. I told you that I hosted it in AWS and AWS UK region. So these are the. So I also have a backup in the US. So because I've not set the MX record, so that's why this is empty. The A record too, I've not set it, that's why it's empty. You can see the presence of web application firewall, the cloud front. You can see, you can want to trace the paths, you click on that, okay. So a whole lot. It will also help you to do the mapping. This is the domain map it. So, but let me do something like I think Google should give me google.com should give me something much more interesting. So these are the DNS servers for google.com. These are the TXT records. These are the host record. You can see this. So at the same time, you can also customize our Python scripting to do this. So let's go back to our slide. So DNS dumpster is a very good tool to start your investigation. Moreover, remember that this tool is not intrusive. So it's not intrusive. Another very good tooling that one can also leverage on is the DNS enum. So this DNS enum is used to gather as much information as possible about a particular domain. So you can always download this tool from GitHub and using this URL. So the program currently performs the following operations. So it gives you the host address, the A record, similar to what your DNS dumpster will give you. Get the name server threaded, the MX record, the AXFI queries will also be gotten from that tooling. So it gives you a whole lot. Get an extra names and subdomains via the Google Doc. It can also be used to force subdomain from file. Can also perform recursion of subdomain that have NS record. So it can also use it to calculate the C-class domain network ranges and also perform WHOIS queries on them. You can also use it to perform reverse backup on net ranges. So the usage is very straightforward. So let me go back to my Kali and let's try this out so that we have a feel on how this work out. So let me okay. Let me clear the screen first. So it's pretty straightforward. DNS, okay, that's it. So you can see these are the various IP addresses associated to my domain. These are the name servers. You can see the location of the name servers. So because I've not set up a mail server, so that's why this is empty. Maybe before we finish up I may set up a mail server later on. So let me do for our regular website. I think this is the coming up. Let me open a new terminal, right? Let me open a new terminal. Sorry, DNS now certified secure hacker. Oh, certified hacker. So you can see the information. So that's how to make use of a DNS. You know, it's a very, very useful tool to conduct your enumeration. And also, so let's take our time to demonstrate all these various. I think I've explained the use of how to make leverage on the various tooling, the harvester, how to make use of the brutes, DNS brutes, and how to also make use of various tooling, customized tooling that come with Kali, actually Python tooling. I've also mentioned how to make use of the harvester. So I've created a lab exercise for this class. Take your time, go through them, and also try as much do some further exploration. Don't limit yourself to what was discussed. So do some further exploration, and also try as much as possible not to use this tool against especially those ones that are intrusive, against a target domain that can put us in trouble. So try as much as possible to limit it to maybe your personal domain, or you are free to target my censorsbit.com. So I intentionally, because of this class, I don't do just a simple information websites. So I've not put something sensitive there yet. So that I know that so that you don't go and break down my website. So, but before we finish up the class, I might also try and develop more something interesting, maybe some very interesting web applications, and upload it so that you can have something to test. Even if you crash the website, I can always bring it up back. So thank you for your time. So see you next class. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.